Hey y'all, I'm back with another video. In this video, we're going to be doing acrylic toes for the 100th time. I have plenty of videos on my channel of me doing acrylic toes, so if you're still struggling, feel free to watch one of my previous videos. If not, let me know in the comments what you're struggling with, and I can comment. I can actually, put a video out so you guys can actually understand if you're still missing something. But one thing, what I would say is you need this sanding band. This right here, this sanding band right here is perfect to get around the cuticle area, especially when you're doing acrylic toes. Like, I am able to lift up all of the dead skin, and it saves me so much of time. So I 100% believe that you need this, and it's on my Amazon storefront if you never tried it. So yeah, I'm getting super close to the cuticle area, and acrylic toes is similar to nails, but instead you're doing like an overlay on your toes. So I do get around the cuticle area like I said, and I do the sidewalls. Just remove all of that dead skin. And then I do nip the skin, I'm sorry, the cuticle area. I do that because you don't want no lifting. So all these steps that I'm doing is what's going to cause you to get literally no lifting. So these are very important, and you do not want to skip these steps. Remove the cuticle. The dead skin is no sense for it to be there. If it's legal for you to do it in your state, because I know every state is different, please remove it. It's not that hard. I'm using my Young Nails Protein Bond, and I make sure I dust the nails off really good. Try to get as much as dust off as possible so that way you don't have no lifting, because that can cause lifting. And I do the Young Nail Protein Bond, and I apply this to the nail plate 2 times. You have to do that because you want to make sure your toenails is going to last. Okay? I already know in my comments somebody is literally gonna say, "Oh, acrylic toes is bad," or this and that, blah blah blah. I don't want to hear that. At the end of the day, like I always say, acrylic toes are not bad for you. It all depends on who you go to, how you keep up with the maintenance, and go to somebody that know what they're doing. Don't go to somebody that does not know what they're doing. Not all Chinese people know what they're doing. Not all black nail tech know what they're doing. Not all Spanish nail techs. Not all nail techs, period, knows what they're doing. So find you somebody and study their work. Watch their Instagram like a hawk. Know you know what they're doing before you try them out. Do your research and ask questions so you know what you're getting yourself into. Okay, the acrylic I'm using is from Young Nails, and it is called Cover Pink. I already showed the picture because then I know somebody gonna ask in the comments what acrylic, and I already, I know how it goes. But anyways, yeah, I go ahead and I make sure I add like a few drops of acetone into my monomer so that way I'm able to pick up my beads and I have full control over my beads, and my beads are not running everywhere. When it comes down to acrylic toes, you do have to know how to pick up the correct bead. You do not want a bead that's super big, or you do not want a bead that's going to be running all over the place. You want to be able to have full control over your bead. And what I'm doing is when I place that bead down, I kind of pat it into the cuticle area. I'm not just placing it on top where my cuticle is at, because you still do not want to flood the cuticle area. Very important. Even my sidewalls, you don't want to leave no gaps. You don't want to leave no holes, no bubbles, no none of that. You want to make sure everything is all flat and it looks like the nail. So as you can see, my client nails is super short. But what I do is I kind of stretch the acrylic out a little bit just to give that illusion, I guess, of a real nail, like as if the acrylic is going to be her real nail. So you want to make sure you're stretching that acrylic out and pulling it down, because it's not that I'm going to leave it this long. I rather it, like when I place my acrylic bead, I put it longer than shorter, because if it's too short and the client is like, well, I paid for acrylic toes and it's too short, I don't like it, then You have to go back, redo everything, and actually add acrylic to it. Nobody has time for that. So I rather put it like I place my acrylic bead and I stretch it out to what I see is probably fit for your toes. Everybody toes is different. Everybody nail plate is different. And another thing, you guys, please, 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 if you are a beginner, do not go and say you is doing acrylic toes and you don't know what you're doing. Practice on yourself. Practice on your family members. Do not take people and you do not know what you're doing. Practice on yourself again, or practice on your family. Do not have a client come and pay you if you do not know what you're doing. Practice make perfect, and there's nothing wrong with practicing on yourself for the first couple of months or practicing on a friend or a family member. There's nothing wrong with that. Just really, really practice, because you can really damage somebody's toes if you do not know what you're doing. Or if their toenail is already damaged and they come to you to try to fix their nail or grow their nail out, if you do not know what you're doing, you're going to mess it up even more. So I 100% say practice on yourself, perfect your craft on you, so you know what you're doing wrong, so you know how long it takes for your nails to start back lift, or how long does it take for your nails to look like it needs a refill, how long it takes for the nails to actually last on you. Don't go take somebody when you don't know what you're doing. Like, that be the problem. People do acrylic toes on other people and they're not fully educated on acrylic toes. One, and two, they do not take care of their toes. So it's just like a teamwork when it comes down to acrylic toes. Me and my clients already know, baby, I would not sit here and refill your toes over and over and over because you want to be cheap. No, you got to get a soak off. You got to get a soak off. And after we do that soak off, we do a brand new set. And my clients understand that. My clients understand that I'm going to be yelling and screaming if they nails on for 2 months, because acrylic toes should not be on past that amount of time. Like, I don't promote that you leave your acrylic toes on for forever. It's not about, oh, is it lasting and the retention. No, you want them to remove it when it's time to be removed, or come and get a refill, come and get a soak off, come and get, because after 2 months, 9 times out of 10, that client nail is going to be lifting. Now what happens when it starts lifting? Water get trapped inside of it, and now your client has a greenie and they think it's a fungus, and then everybody starts saying acrylic toes is really bad. Like, no, you just have to be very educated on it, and you have to know who to go to. Like right now, I am drilling my client toenails because I do not want a thick, bulky nail. Not at all. That's not what we're going for. The application may look like that right now, but once I pull that drill out, I'm going to drill her toenails thin to where it looks like it's her real nail. Again, you guys seen how short her toenails was. So I had to, do the illusion of her actually having a long toenail without it being a long toenail. So I really make sure I drill it as thin, and this is not the first time. As you can see, you see the first toe, that pinky toenail, to her second toe is totally different, and I'm not even done yet. I haven't started filing. I haven't started doing my sanding band, so I do underneath the toe multiple times. But when you're doing this, please, please, please be careful with your client, because you can either cause them to bleed or cut them, or as simple as you holding the drill too close to their skin and it burns their skin. So when you're doing this and you're getting underneath the toenail, please be careful. Don't spend too much time there, especially if you do not know how to work your drill. So now I'm going to go ahead and use my sanding band and just go over the cuticle area. And with this sanding band, I like to really get super, super close to the cuticle area just to seal it. And then my sidewalls. You want to make sure you have no gaps. So just make sure you're sealing the cuticle area and the sidewalls. Shaping it up, getting underneath the nail because you still want it to be as thin as possible without it being too thin where it's going to break. So even after I do my French, I still go back and I do the same step again and I clean underneath the toenail, especially with the big toe, because with the big toe it always do look a lot thicker than the other ones. So I do make sure I go underneath it and drill more underneath it just to make it look thin. Your acrylic toe should look natural. You don't want it to look too bulky, or you don't want it to be super thick, because if it's super thick, that can cause damage to your clients. Your client can hit the toenail and actually it hurts, or it could cause some type of blood clogs. Or just don't make your toenail thick. It shouldn't be thick. It should be thin and look as natural as possible. Here I'm going to go ahead and start drawing on my French. I do add a matte top coat first, so it's easier for me to draw the French. And then I go ahead and let my client clear it for 60 seconds. And then I go ahead and start the French. I'm going to be using this reflected glitter that I got on Amazon, and it will be on my Amazon storefront. And I just draw the French like a normal French and just make it as thick as possible. Like, you don't want it to look spaced out, so I do like go over it 2 times because it's reflected glitter, so it's mixed with clear and glitter. So you want the reflected glitter to be noticeable, so I do this 2 times. If I was doing a regular French, I will only do this 1 time. Like, just do a regular white French. I just do my one white French, line or whatever. But because it's reflected glitter and I really want the glitter to show, I have to make sure I do it 2 times so that I can have like the entire French full with glitter, if what I'm saying makes sense. This, I only showed the first coat though. I don't show the second coat because I felt like that was just too much footage to be recording. But as you can see, some of it does look like I need a little bit more glitter. So that's why I do a second coat. And this is how I do my French. It's just a normal French. I do as much as glitter as I can. Not where I'm going to be, having the glitter going all over the place. But where I can actually have control over it. And I can have control over the gel polish itself. And this is how they came out. Very nice, very pretty. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.